Broadcasting from the Merritt Hall Studios out of Carson City, Nevada. You're listening to Covering the Field with Big Richard Martin, Gator Gates, and Joe the Answer Ellison. Welcome to Covering the Field. We got another exciting show. We got in studio Big Rich Martin, Joe the Answer Ellison, and Gator Gates. I'm going to pass it over to Joe, and we're just going to kick this thing off running with some college baseball.
Big Rich, Men's College Baseball World Series. It's coming to a close in Omaha, Nebraska. Where are we at in that exciting competition?
Well, we have so much to get into, but first, we're going to go with our signature sink or swim. Okay, outside the left field gates, there is a 1,500-pound Men's World Championships World Series statue. It was made by John Leiba. Okay, it was built in 1999. Sink or swim. In 1998, it was inspired to make this trophy after a walk-off single against Arizona State by the most outstanding player from the USC Trojans, Wes Rachels. Sink or swim, fellas.
I never heard that story, so I'm gonna go sink on that one. 1999, wasn't that when LSU won?
1998, 1999 is when he did it. He built it.
Oh, 98.
At the celebration.
That wasn't a walk-off home run by LSU that year?
It was it was 1998 was the USC Trojans against Arizona State Sun Devils.
I don't remember that one.
You know what, Joe? I'm going to tread water on this one. I'm just going to tread.
You're not doing either.
I'm going sink.
We got one sticker. We got two sticker. We've got somebody doesing want to get in the water. All right, no one's going in the water. Well, you guys are both correct. That sunk. It is a sink. 1998, that was a 21-14 thumping by the USC Trojans, and they didn't have a carry off or a walk off. They had a dog pile. They piled it on, according to the LA Times. It was the pile on, but it was inspired. It was inspired. It was not inspired by any particular game. That trophy or that statue out in front of the left field. He took some players from the Nebraska team and said, "Hey guys, jump up and down like you just won." And he took a picture of it and he built it off that. So no specific, because I thought for sure there had to be some kind of.
Dude, that's a nice little gem of knowledge right there.
I would have blocked that out of my mind because USC won, so I have no recollection of that.
No, right, Joe. We do a sports show, right?
Yeah, I know. You cannot hate on USC Trojans 24/7. Okay,
it's not allowed.
It's not allowed on this. Okay, okay. We cannot talk about Oklahoma softball anymore, so we're going to have to talk about the Trojans. No, anyway, let's move on to this great World Series. Let's start with the bracket one. Guys, if you hadn't had a chance to watch this World Series, you're missing something out because I'm telling you, it's been amazing. The first game, two walk-off. One was a walk-off home run against Florida. They hit two home runs in the ninth. One of the home runs was the longest home run in Major League Men's College World Series history. Hit a bomb when you're down by 2 runs and you hit two home runs in the ninth inning. Doesn't get any better than that. TCU took it right on the chin from Oral Roberts in the first game. They were winning 5-3, I think it was, and they came back, or it was 4-2 or something like that. Yeah,
5-2 going into the ninth inning.
The ninth inning, and they come up, and the ninth hitter hits a home run and takes the lead. Couldn't beat it. It was so great. So I'm like, this is going to be great. And then we watched, Florida just goes in cruise control. We said bracket one. We told you that was your best odds because Florida's probably going to come out of that bracket. I figured LSU and I figured Wake Forest were the two best teams, and I figured Florida was going to get into the finals by being in a weaker bracket. You guys agree with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay, so Florida rolls over. TCU has to go to the losers bracket. So that means they have to win 4 straight games. Very tough task. So what do? They come over and beat Virginia and eliminates Virginia. And then they eliminated in the comeback game against Oral Roberts. They eliminated them, and then they got to Florida today. It felt to Florida's Jack Caglione. Is that correct, Joe?
I don't know.
Caglione. He is the pitcher that also hits. He bats third and he pitches for him. So he's the college version of Ohtani. So I think we'll be seeing him coming out of the draft very well. Okay. So Florida won all 3 of their games by 1 run. Keep that in mind going into this slugfest that we have with Wake Forest and LSU, because Wake Forest, they won both their games 3-2, and they got to the finals today, and then they lost to LSU. Okay, so LSU, they beat LSU 3-2. That was Monday, and then they had to play again today. And so, all their games, you got to look at they're averaging, I think that they're averaging their 589 home runs for the year. Wake Forest they had 130 home runs for the year, and they've only scored 6 runs in the College World Series. Wow. So they're definitely slumping.
They're relying on their pitching.
They're relying on their pitching, which they have one of the best pitchers, if not the best, All-American, Rhett Launder. And he's the guy with the great mane. Big Rich doesn't know what it is to have long hair, but it looks great. So anyway, he has 137 strikeouts to 22 walks.
Hey, Rich, I can do Photoshop, by the way.
Okay, well, don't eat it right now. We're not going to do it. His ERA is 1.9. And I'm going to give you guys another secret swim on this before we get done. LSU has a pitcher on their team. His name is Teddy McGraw.
Right.
Okay. He didn't play this year. He's a top 10 progress. He hurt his arm in February.
I think they're coming to get you, Big Rich.
I think that's Teddy McGraw going in the ambulance. Anyway, is Teddy, he has an arm injury. He's top 10, like I told you. Is his dad, Tim McGraw, the artist and actor and singer? Tim McGraw is his dad. That,
or is it Tug McGraw, the old baseball player? No, it's Tim McGraw. I think I heard that story. That particular.
You're going to swim.
I'm going to swim with that one.
Are you going to speak or swim that is this Teddy McGraw that pitches for LSU's dad's?
I'm swimming.
I'm swimming just because it seems like the right age.
Okay, it is the right age. Good job, Ellison. His dad is Tim McGraw, and he got in his first high school fight because people were trying to get naked pictures of his stepmom, Faith Hill. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. That is not true.
You can probably get those yourself. Don't need their help.
Don't need it to go walking around trying to get mom in a bathrobe. No, but that is a good truth. But I'll give you another secret swim. Tim McGraw's dad is Tug McGraw, the pitcher. Is that a secret swim?
Nice.
Is that a secret swim?
I'm going to go with that as a swim also. Sink.
I'm going sink.
It is a swim, Joe. You're 3 for 3. But he didn't know it was his dad until he was 11 years old.
Oh, wow.
So he reunited with him, but he is the great pitcher. Tug McGraw is all related in that.
We stunk, Gator.
Yep.
Well, it's okay.
That was a tough one. But today,
I'd heard that story.
All right, Joe, we can't get much by you, buddy. When it comes to trivia. But Kate Butzel today hit a 3-run jack and got them past. LSU got past.
Yeah,
they have great pitching.
It was
2-2, and they were down 2-0, and they had a big 5-run rally. So they or 4-run rally with that 3-run jack, and also they walked it. They had bases loaded and he threw a wild pitch. So here we go. We got a great game tomorrow. We're probably going to see Rhett Launder go. I would imagine he would go, and he's going to go against the stud pitcher for LSU, which is Paul Skeens. He throws 102 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour with a great slider with great control. So he pitched that first 6-3 game against Tennessee. It was pretty much unhittable, had 12 strikeouts. So something good to look forward to. I love the way the LSU coaching staff is someone's in trouble and they go and pull them. I just see these major leaguers. They leave them in there for so long. I mean, the guy, and we're going to get into this to my guy host, because if your pitcher can't pitch good in the bullpen, why are they even? Is there anybody even with the relievers in the watching? Like, hey, coach, don't bring this one in. The guy can't throw a damn strike. No. You know what I mean? I don't know what's coming in. These relievers walking leadoff hits. These leadoff hitters in the major leagues, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I'm seeing a lot of coming in. What's your job? What's the cardinal sin of baseball, Joe? You know that.
Walking batters,
walking the first batter of the inning. Yeah, walking the first batter of the inning, make them hit the ball to get on base. Yeah, but hitting the cardinal sin of baseball. Don't give a leadoff walk. Make them earn their way onto base, and it gives up the tying and winning runs most of the time. But anyway, so now we got game. We'll have a game 3 tomorrow, and we said it's going to be a great pitching staff. Kind of like the under on that, fellas. I'd kind of like the under. That'll probably be around 8 or 9. We haven't seen it ever came out yet. I'll have to give Cornelius. Maybe we can look up what the under over is before we go on that. But I think we're going to see some great pitching, and Wake Forest hasn't hit the ball well basically the whole since they've been to Omaha.
Well, nice you complimented LSU's coach. How about a little trivia? Where was Jay Johnson, the head coach? Where was his first head coaching job in college baseball?
Texas?
Nah, it would have to be his first one. His first one would be with, I'm going to say, Fresno State Bulldogs.
You're in the same conference. How about the University of Nevada? 2014, 15, right up here in Reno. So, he was assistant at, I can't remember now where it was. San Diego State, I think it was, or Fresno State, and something like that. Okay. And he ended up head coach in Nevada. He went on to Arizona before going to LSU. I think just his first year at LSU, right?
Great coach. I've been watching the way he's been coaching. He goes and gets these players, doesn't give him a long leash. He has a whole bullpen of pitchers, and he plans on using everyone to get to where they need to go to. Mm-hmm. He did use Riley Cooper 3 innings against Tennessee, and then he put him in for 2 innings today. So, I mean, like you said, wear and tear. I don't know if he will be available. The big 250-pound lefty that they bring in.
Well, it's hard to tell who's going to pitch, but do you know?
I can't even
have a guess as to who's going to win.
I'm going to say LSU. I think they got the better pitching, and I'm going to say, especially if they use Skeens with that 102 mile an hour fastball. I mean, we have some really great players that we can watch. Florida's top 10, at least top 25 players that are going to be going to the draft, and like we said, Teddy McGraw. I don't know. He's a junior. I don't know if he'll be back next year with them, but they would definitely like to pitch him right now in this last game.
Big Rich, I got an update for you. So no spreads yet. No over unders, but LSU's minus 150 and then Wake Forest is plus 120. Okay. They haven't put anything out yet.
They haven't put the under over yet. And I think it has a lot to do with that the Launder, which was, he was the runner up for the pitcher of the year of all college, and he was the ACC pitcher of the year. So definitely a great pitcher. I think it's going to be great for the under on that. And hopefully we can see that flamethrower go too. And I'd love to see that Chase Burns from Tennessee. He came in to pitch 6 innings of relief, and they burned him, but he was throwing 101 to 102 miles an hour also. So, these kids are, they're going to have to get away from these aluminum bats, because I think, with the exit velocity, someone throwing 110, you could bring a metal bat up there. It's pretty dangerous for the pitchers.
Well, I liked Wake Forest. I mean, I didn't like them before the tournament started because they were only 4-1, but after they dominated regionals, I did say to take Wake Forest to win it, and they were at like 3-1. So I guess I'm going to have to stick with them after I did that U-turn right there. I can't turn back again. So I'm going to go with that.
I'm going to say it's going to be LSU against Florida, and I think LSU is definitely the most dominant team.
Southeastern Conference showdown. I don't want to see that.
LSU beat them twice this year, and they played earlier. But it's just something to look at. You have to look at this, and we'll do some little more research. Just let you know there will be a game tomorrow, Thursday, and it'll be at 4:00, and then 4:00 Pacific, and then there'll be a game Saturday. So Friday will be interesting. They'll start the 2 out of 3 for the finals.
That's exciting.
Too bad Oral Roberts didn't get in there. That's a team I wanted to win it.
But that kid they have had a 46-game hitting streak, and it just seems like they got a little bit cold. But I mean, he was up there with Ron Baturz.
They were just a number 4 seed in their regional, and they made it all the way to the College World Series. They're like 9-1 just to come out of the regional. The total Cinderella story came to a close yesterday.
They were outmatched. Outmatched.
Yeah, I think they just ran it. When you play against these teams with pitching so deep in these bigger conferences, I mean, you need a lot of pitchers to get through this World Series.
Maybe you could have hedged your 50-1 or whatever it was, 100-1 or 200-1 you had at the beginning of the tournament.
Yeah, I'm sure you got something out of it. You got something out of it for sure.
All right.
But congratulations. One thing I don't like is I don't like these announcers in the dugouts talking to the players, talking to the coaches while they're coaching, and it's like the guys, well, I have to be back in a minute. I have to go argue this call. And it's like, I don't think there's just a place. I know it's entertainment, but I don't think there's a place for having announcers in the dugouts. Announcers should be in the stands. If you want to talk to somebody like in basketball, you can talk to them.
Commercial break,
talk to them, and then it's like taped, so you're not interrupting.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, Big Richard, because to be honest with you, I love it when they look at the fans.
Right.
When they're out there with the kids or the parents or the school kids. I don't know. I just like that part of it.
Right.
I do.
Nothing like seeing a kid with a big old thing of cotton candy at a baseball game and gets a foul ball.
So I'm with you on that. I'd rather see that than him talking to the coach.
I agree. You don't bring it to the dugout during the game.
Right.
Major League Baseball players are getting talked to during the middle of games.
Right.
Outfielders are like,
I'm just waiting for him.
They hit it to him, and he's got, gotta go.
Right.
Yeah.
Or gets it over his head. You hear, bleep. I can't get that one or whatever. Right. I just not the place. I
agree.
But
Okay. So we have predictions, and I'm going to stick with the Wake Forest. It's probably not going to happen. And
don't be hard on yourself.
You got LSU or Florida?
I got LSU.
You got LSU.
I like LSU.
You got them beating Florida.
I got them beating Florida. I think they got the better pitching staff for sure.
I got Florida though.
All right. So, should we move on to Major League Baseball?
Let's talk about the big boys.
Gator, who's been hot lately in the big leagues?
Giants.
There's one team doing better than the Giants.
There's one team red hot. One team red hot.
Good lead in.
Joe, well, before I get to that, I want to just say that there was 7 games this weekend where 7 teams were swept.
7 series where teams were swept.
Right, and Pittsburgh was swept. Pittsburgh, Oakland was one of them.
Oakland was one of them.
But Pittsburgh got swept.
Back to normal.
Was swept twice during that week.
Yeah, and same by the same team, the Cubs.
Cincinnati and San Francisco both swept both of their opponents last week.
Right, and that was the Dodgers and the Cardinals.
Crazy. So, Joe, what we got? We have Cincinnati at 11-0. Yeah, that is the hottest team right now.
Right. And
I saw today that even when they had a Johnny Bench and Pete Rose, they didn't even do 11-0.
Yeah, it has to go back. I think it was 1953 or 57 was the first. They haven't been 11-0 since then. That's the big red machine you're talking about.
Correct. Yes,
sure. But it's behind that rookie.
They are first place now.
They're in first place. They should be.
National League Central.
They have that Dominican shortstop, Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah.
And he's hitting over 300, and they got a great bullpen. Alex Diaz, he has 20 saves.
Well, it's pretty shocking they're doing so good. It's been 123 years since a team had 100 losses the previous year, then won their division the next year.
And they didn't start out that great this year.
And the Reds were 62-100 last year. So this is historical if
they're almost there. I mean, they keep the streak going. They're going to be there in no time. One thing you got to look at that team, though, their team ERA is 4.89. So, I mean, they're beating up the Rockies. Who do they beat in the teams they played? They beat the Rockies. And, they're clubbing some teams.
The teams that they swept last week was Houston and Kansas City.
Kansas City's the worst, but Houston is a good team, but they're reeling for sure. They give up 9 runs.
They're sweeping the Rockies as we're talking.
Yeah, they just did today.
Yeah.
I think we already heard San Francisco is hot. They won 9 straight.
Yep.
Going into tonight's game. Who else?
Well, Atlanta, they're 7-0 in the last 7.
8-2.
And they're 8-2. Chicago's 8-2.
That's the Cubs, not the White Sox.
Correct. And Boston is 6-0, but they're 7-4 in the last 10.
11. Right. Okay.
Now
so that's the streaks.
So cold.
Well, I was going to say also a couple things you might want to look. Tampa Bay is 32-8 at home. So pretty darn solid.
They're in the dome.
Shane McClanahan's leading the league with 11 wins. He's 11-1. So you might want to check to see when he's pitching at home, especially.
Well, since we're on these hot teams, who's most likely to win their division? You think Cincinnati or you think Arizona?
No, I'd go Cincinnati.
Arizona's got to be another hot team. You got to have Arizona on a hot team.
Yeah. Giants play Arizona coming up here.
Dodgers and Arizona in that division. I would say the easier road's the Central for sure.
But Arizona, as of yesterday, was at a plus 425 to win their division. So I thought that was a great number.
Well, the Dodgers, I'm sure, are a big favorite.
Sure, of course.
If you look at how many runs they scored, they're in the top 5 in home runs, runs scored, hits.
Just a good price. Just good price on them. Okay.
So, yeah, who has been cold recently there?
Okay, well, as of yesterday, I have 0-8 for Pittsburgh, 1-9 in the last 10. I'm not sure what they did today.
They lost. They lost 9 straight.
Yeah, so 0-9. Okay. Colorado, 0-8.
Yep.
And Oakland, 0-6.
Yeah. Like I said, Oakland.
I think they got
back to normal.
They lost in the ninth inning last night. Yeah, they were winning that game.
Washington's another one that's on a losing streak at 0-5, 2-8 in their last 10.
I think Kansas City also 2-8.
Yes.
Well, better about the Giants. Their team ERA is 3.86. So they're pitching the ball. They're pitching. You can see the difference between. Okay, the Reds are hot right now, and it seems like the Pirates are hot earlier. And you kind of play some weaker teams, and you can get on one of these streaks. Winning's contagious. So is losing, as Vince Lombardi would say. But I would say that you look at some of these stats, and I think they're pitching well. And I'll give you guys a sink or swim for your Giants guys. Do you guys think, since Buster Posey's out, we have Blake Sable and we have Patrick Bailey, who's a switch hitting catcher, sink or swim? They solved their catcher problem, and we've moved on from Posey, and now we got.
You didn't even mention Joey Bart.
So Joey Bart,
he's not even. But he's not even. He's not even. I mean, these two are playing great.
Yeah, so I would say they got
both rookies.
They're not Posey yet. But I agree. They got their catchers.
Yeah, they're fine.
You have 2 catchers like that. You could DH them, and they're still hitting the ball well. I mean,
I don't think they're going to be
Bailey's a switch hitter. Yeah,
catchers.
Bailey's switch hitter, and Sable's left. So you have really good left hand presence, and Bart's right handed, of course. And then I think they got Estrada, who's an all-star at second base, and they got JD Davis hitting 286 at third.
Now the Giants are playing San Diego right now. San Diego's been leading going into the last couple innings, and Giants been coming back and winning.
That's your in-play bet.
Well, that's an in-play to my you got hosed. I'll be talking about your manager out there, Bob, whatever. Bob Melvin. Bob Melvin, the ex-A's coach.
Maybe we should get into a little news around Major League Baseball. How about this Miami second baseman, Luis Rice? He's at 398 batting average. I guess he went 5 for 5 Monday. Right.
He reminds me of Rod Carew, Joe. I mean, if you guys, those of you remember Rod Carew, I mean, and a hot topic. Let's bring this for a 2-minute hot bring. Can we see a 400 hitter in our generation?
Yeah. Well, he's been at or above 400 4 times already this year. He's been going up and down.
Well, he was 400 on the 20th of this month.
That was yesterday.
And
then he goes 2 for 5, which is 400.
And he's actually
so he actually went down a little bit because of the percentage.
He's got 5 hits in a game 3 times this month.
And that's how Rod Carew was in 1977. I think I'm going to say there's 4 players that we were able to see in our lifetime. I mean, Ted Williams. Okay. It was not our lifetime.
1941. Okay. He did 406.
Not our lifetime, but it's 406. Okay. Sink or swim. He didn't have 200 hits in that season.
Oh, gosh.
Last
he had 400. He had about 406.
Let's sink.
You don't think he had 400? You had 200 hits, and he had batted 400.
I gotta go swim on that one. He had 200 hits. I'm gonna.
So you're thinking?
I'm gonna go sink.
Games they play back.
They didn't play. You're right. Gator was all older. Yeah. So there was 10 less games. He had 189 hits. So he didn't have 200 hits. He only didn't play the same amount. He didn't even have 500 at bats. So hard to believe. When we have someone like, I'd say, Ichio. I mean, he had 260 hits one year.
Yeah, that's right.
And he, I think he was close to
370. I think
370 that year, and he had 260.
Back to Reyes, he has 102 hits so far. Well, that was as of yesterday.
And we're a quarter of the way through.
He's
I'll be a quarter, not a little bit over.
About
almost half.
More
80 would be half.
Yeah. We're almost half.
Yeah. We're almost half. He has 102 as of yesterday. Yeah. So
on pace for 250, maybe. That will get him to 400.
I would say it didn't get Ichio. He had 262, and he was in 370s.
Yep.
About more. I think it has to go to this. My hot topic is this. Okay, the reason we're seeing a good hitter now because they can't do the shift.
That helps.
Does the shift help?
This guy hits to every field, though. He's
right. He does.
Right. I don't know if that applies to him, but
bigger bases. He's there a half second quicker. Well, the bigger bases could be a factor to out or safe.
Pitchers having you pitch the ball a little quicker.
Okay, but you say that today's batters don't have the advantage because so many bullpen and people they didn't have back then. Pitchers pitched longer, but I think the batters have more of an advantage with video. They already know the people they can watch the video who they're playing. They know exactly what kind of pitches. They have the 3 pitches that they have. They have the scouting reports that they didn't have.
That's why it's hard to compare era to era.
Era, especially something with the videos,
the analytics, everything they have to go on.
So I think it evens it out. I think it does even out. We have, if you look at the College World Series, they all have stuff on their belt. Have you guys noticed that during the World Series? And it's probably they change it with each pitcher and tells you there's 3 types of pitching. The scouting reports tells you like he has fastball, curveball, sinker, something like that. I would imagine that. I don't know what's on there. I mean, I don't like looking at Mid's belts, but I know he has something on there.
Keep your eyes up.
Keep your eyes up. Above the belt, please.
Smile when you look down. But as far as batting 400, I mean, let's be realistic. If it's been that long, it's probably not.
See, ours in our generation probably would be Chipper Jones was the last time. I think 2008, right?
Well, Ichiro, I think, was a little closer.
Yeah, maybe that was.
Well, Barry Bonds had 382 one year.
I was thinking more like Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs had 3 years in a row. He hit over 360.
Yeah.
George Brett, Tony Gwynn batted 288. So that was 388.
I guess with more strikeouts we have now. Days. More people striking out.
If those guys couldn't do it, what makes me think this guy's going to do it? So I'm going to say it doesn't make it, but 390 would be pretty amazing.
They're going to just start walking them. You're not even going to let them get a hit.
Yeah, like Bonds.
Well, just start walking them.
You don't make an out that way, so that won't hurt your batting average.
And Miami is, if you look on your team, they are above 500. They're second place in their
team. They're doing excellent. So they're a good team to watch.
There's somebody you can just blow by.
Okay. Some other news, Shohei Ohtani, he just goes chugging along, 24 home runs and batting 300. He's just, we could talk about him every week.
Well, Pete Alonso also hit his 23rd today.
I was going to say, Pete Alonso, he got his left wrist injury. He got hit by a pitch.
Right.
So good for him. That Dodger pitcher, Emmett Sheehan, got him, picked him up from AA, 6 innings, a no-hit ball last week, got taken out, and then the Giants came back and beat him. So, That's
there
what
you go
happens.
again.
You can only
Dave Roberts getting in his own way again. 100 pitches.
A player to watch. I don't know if you've seen this guy. Toronto center fielder Kevin Kiermaier. He's being compared to Willie Mays and Roberto Clemente right now.
Wow.
He's going to be on the All-Star team. He's amazing to watch. So
he's some great youth out there. Love it.
Yeah. On the injury front, Boston pitcher Tanner Houck, I don't know if you saw this, out indefinitely. He got struck in the face by a batted ball. He needs surgery to insert a plate in his face. Yeah. I mean, when are these pitchers going to start wearing helmets? I mean, how bad does somebody have to get hurt?
Well, they do it in college softball.
Absolutely.
The women, they wear it. So
we want them to keep looking very nice and pretty. And men, we don't care.
Let's keep going with the show, Joe.
We don't care if men have busted faces and scars all over.
This isn't
certainly not.
It's not hockey.
This ain't hockey.
But I agree, though. The pitchers should have helmets on. That ball is coming at you at the exit velocity of 103 or whatever the exit velocity is.
Oh, it's 114 or something of it.
I mean, that's ridiculous. And that close to the mound is. No, I'm sorry.
That close to the mound.
I mean, why not give the pitcher a helmet?
I give a hockey player a helmet, and they're the toughest guys around. They give them a goalie helmet.
We'll toss it off.
If someone gets seriously injured, then we'll give them
you're right.
That wasn't serious enough, apparently.
Like putting a plate in your face?
Yeah, not enough. So some bad news for Houston starting pitcher Lance McCullers, KC first baseman Benny Pasquantino. They're done for the season. Giants news, Mitch Haniger, he's out 10 weeks. Fractured forearm.
Bummer.
Got hit by a pitch.
Oh, got hit by a pitch.
And broke his forearm. Terrible.
Against the Dodgers, probably.
Speaking of, Max Muncy, third baseman Dodgers, he's on the 10-day injured list, left hamstring. New York Yankees starting pitcher Carlos Rodon, former Giant. He's rehab assignment. So he's going to be back soon. And we need to, that was elbow strain and back stiffness. And we can thank Rockin, Ronnie McKinnon and Butch the Butcher Roberts for
thank you guys.
The stats and
great
information.
Stuff.
Always got great information for our show. We love it. Keep bringing the heat, guys.
Okay. Well, Gator.
Yeah.
NASCAR returns after a rare week off. What occurred 2 weeks ago at the Save Mart 350 in Sonoma? Hey, that's the closest venue to our home here in Northern Nevada.
Yeah, that's considered a track.
Maybe people went out there and saw it.
Yeah, well, then they saw Martin Truex win at 40-1, Joe.
Shocking.
It's 35. Yeah, I think we said of the show it was 38-1 or something. I couldn't believe it.
It opened at 41.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And he's won there 3 times before.
Right. So that makes him his 4th now. Yeah. And that's his 2nd win of the season, Joe. So if being my driver, I'm ecstatic. That should put him in there, no problem.
Kyle Busch was 2nd. He was right there with him.
But he had to pass him on the final restart.
Right.
And he had to pass Chase Elliott for the lead and had to hold off Kyle Busch.
So he wasn't gonna win that.
But what I thought was kind of neat, Big Richard, was that all 3 manufacturers went 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah, Truex was Toyota, Kyle Busch, Chevy, and 3rd was Logano in the Ford.
To see the Fords finally coming around, huh?
Toyota plus 355 on the manufacturer.
Yeah, that's a nice price.
Pretty clean race, huh? I saw only 1 caution.
Yeah, I did.
That's shocking for a road course, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, they were drinking wine and enjoying the drive.
Sunday drive.
Sand and stuff and can't come out. No, it was
get a pit stop, get your tires changed, and get a glass of wine.
Yeah,
give me some cheese with that wine.
So we're headed over to Nashville.
Right,
I think that we'll have
LI 400.
Yeah, I'm expecting a little more action over there. But Chase Elliott did win it last year. Now, Joe, I think Elliott has to win, right, to get in, because he is not going to get in on points.
Well, he missed a couple months with that snowboarding accident.
So we're going to have to take the Chevys. They are the favorite at a -115, but a winner's a winner.
I like Kyle Busch.
Okay.
Kyle Larson won it 2 years ago, right?
Yes, he did.
So I think they've only raced 2 years. I think it's only been 2 years.
I believe so.
And so I'm going to take Chase Elliott to win it. Like I said, he's got to win.
He's got to win.
Yeah, he's at 850 right now.
But Ross Chastain hasn't won a race either.
And he's at plus 1100. So
we've only had, 10 winners, 10 different winners so far. So there's room for 6 more on points at this moment. And Elliott's not going to be one of those at this moment.
Right, he has to get in.
So he has to win, but maybe
so it's a
maybe
mile and a half
Chastain
track, a mile and a quarter.
Yeah, it's
300 laps. 300 laps with a mile and a quarter.
Does anybody have the time of that race when it starts? Do you know in Nashville?
Well, they're on Central Time.
Okay.
I would assume around 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, usually it's been 12. I can tell you that NBC Network took them over. So you can watch them on the NBC network. Fox had them the first half of the season. NBC took over halfway through.
Yeah, there was a lot on social media about that. I don't know if you saw that, Big Richard, about Fox's covers last race.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys won't look that up. It's entertaining.
So anyway, you can get Ryan Blaney if you want to go with the Fords. You can get him at 11-1 odds also.
Well, we could move on. I guess we have a little time here to talk about the 77th NBA draft being tomorrow.
Hey, that ally, by the way, real quick, it's at 4 p.m.
Eastern time. So it'll be 1 o'clock.
Pacific time.
Well, that's crazy. They're going to race at night?
4 to 8. Yep.
All right.
4 to 8. So June 25th, 4 to 8 p.m.
Is it a
Saturday? Is that Saturday? Yeah. Usually if it's a night race, it's Saturday.
Yeah, the 25th. So the 25th would be a Sunday, correct?
All right.
Okay.
Guys, the 77th NBA draft is tomorrow. What should we expect?
Somebody's going to get drafted number 1, which we all know. And then number 2 and 3. It looks like it's good. Miller, and it's going to be what's that other
Scoot Henderson.
Scoot Henderson.
For all those people who don't know, the 7'5" Frenchman Victor Wembanyama. Maybe he just didn't want to pronounce his name.
I did not want to.
Yeah, but he's going to be a god for San Antonio.
So he's going to be better than LeBron. He's going to be better than Mike.
He's going to be I'm with LeBron being better than Mike personally.
Okay. But 7'5", but shoots like Kevin Durant.
He's got a chance to be the best. Absolutely. He's only 19 years old, and he's absolutely. He's
San Antonio. He's going to get him.
I can see he was being interviewed by an ex-NBA player. I won't say who it is, but he dwarfed him. The guy was 6'4". He looked like he was going to sit on his lap.
When he threw that first pitch yesterday, he just went entirely around the ball.
Yeah, that was an awful pitch too.
They don't play a lot of baseball in France. I know that. But huge hands. He's going to block a lot of shots. He's going to shoot threes. He's from Europe.
He's got to put some weight on him.
Shoot from the outside.
Yeah, he's at 220. I was at 225.
He's got to get some weight on him. Hit the weight room, get some weight on him, because to bang around in those big bodies, as skinny as he is, he's tall, he's gifted, and he can shoot outside. But man, got to get some weight on you.
Jokic would terror the way he bulldozed you right through there.
The way he backs everybody down 2 feet away from the rim and just taps it in.
But he does remind me of Jokic, his attitude, his mentality, very respectful, humble. And I think that's going to go.
Are you sure he's for France then?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll have to chat.
That was the smart Frenchman. That was the part from Napoleon. We're not talking about. We're talking about Napoleon.
Yeah. Anyway, so I expect incredible things from him. So he's the first pick. Right. Brandon Miller will probably go to Charlotte. They pretty much come out and said that.
They flew him out there the other day, and even Mike was out there with him.
And he went to Alabama. Scoot Henderson is going to end up at Portland, or maybe be traded from Portland.
He's a great. Have you seen any film on that guy? He's amazing. Goes to the hoop, explosive for a point guard. He's going to start wherever he goes to as point guard. So. And he's only knocking him a little bit erratic from outside, but that's something you can work on.
He's a G League guy. Did not go to college. So.
Right. He played for the Ignite.
Yes. So we haven't really seen him play a whole lot, have we?
Him and Lillard, that's a great combination right there.
Lillard, please.
31, I believe. 31, 32.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be part of a rebuild, Lillard, but I think adding this guy might just stick around and take his $61 million a year and hang around in Portland.
He did express how he wants to stay in Portland a couple days ago or something. So,
but he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild.
Nobody wants to be part of a rebuild. That's like 4 years of just, and then he'll be 36 by then. I mean,
so you can only do so much in Portland right now. But
what about the Rockets at the 4th pick? They're thinking about, they don't know who
trading down.
They don't know who to get, so they're thinking about trading down.
There's another G League player they're looking at.
A guy named Amen. He wants to call himself Amen, but looks like Amen to me. I'm picking him as the 4th pick, and there's going to be a lot of
Gator,
jokes flying around with him.
Give me one of your horse picks for the trifecta, superfecta, and the draft.
We got the top 3. Now we need to work on the.
I think they're going to trade it down. To be honest, I think they're going to trade it down.
But the NBA draft, they've already figured out trades already without
there's
even
stuff
picking
going on.
the players.
What about the steal of the century? The Suns steal Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Talk about left. I mean, who they gave up? They gave up Chris Paul. I mean, he does State Farm commercials, for God's sakes.
Well, he found out by his son when he was on a flying.
Yeah. Hey, Dad, guess what you're traded? Hey, Dad, guess what you're traded?
Dad, we're moving somewhere else now.
Like, not so sure Bradley Beal is going to make the Suns any better, to be honest with you.
The average is what, 28 points a game?
Well, he's averaging about $50 million a year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So there's
the bad news is there's only one basketball. Right. So I mean, and you got Booker, Durant,
and now Beal.
And then Ayton was already complaining it wasn't
and
touches.
Yeah.
And
so they got
wasn't
four
getting
guys.
touches.
Yeah.
That's just
out of control there. But I wouldn't mind seeing Chris Paul finally end up on the Lakers because they could use a point guard. Of course, David Stern nixed the first trade that he was going to.
Yeah, he should have been a Laker a long time ago. We talked about that last week.
That's crazy. So anyway. So how about Memphis's John Morant? Got a 25-game suspension, brandishing a gun for the second time. He had an 8-game suspension, right, last year. You think 25 was enough?
I think it should have been 40. I think it should have been half a season. I mean,
and he's in
half a season.
He's like up for a max contract. That's what he's been pushing for. And it does all this stuff. I wouldn't give it to him. Would you? I mean,
absolutely not.
I would not give him a max contract.
Went there and lied to the commissioner's face. Had interview with Jalen Rose, lied to him. He just seems like he doesn't care. Doesn't care, and he's going to continue to go his ways and the way he's going to go. So it looks bad for Memphis. That's a big hit, but
he's got world of talent too. World of talent. But what are you doing?
Not too bright.
Behave.
Yeah.
Speak about not behaving. What about Draymond Green?
Wow.
Is that the end of the dynasty here? I mean,
it might be. He opted out. He didn't want the $16 million. They were going to give us
$20 million. $20 million is over.
So, and he didn't want it, and he opted out. And he says he's looking for maybe some trades or free agency.
Well, he doesn't have to have a trade. He's not under contract. He opted out, so he can.
He can do whatever he wants now.
And he was seen in, I think it was France, might have been Italy, with LeBron James.
Lakers, huh?
They were vacationing together. Lakers fans vacationing together.
Well,
I don't know.
I guess I'll take Draymond over Chris Paul, but who's going to dribble the ball up the court? LeBron again?
Or they might just draft a point guard.
Oh, okay.
Lakers
pick number 17, get a point guard, stick a rookie in there.
Why not?
I think the Lakers are at a point where they need somebody who can contribute immediately. Not a rookie. If this kid, unless he's really amazing.
Well, he is, but he doesn't shoot very well from the outside, and that's kind of what you do. You take LeBron inside, kick out to some shooters out there.
I want a veteran on the Lakers personally.
No, that's Chris Paul then for you.
And what about Bruce Brown from the Nuggets? Yeah. He opted out. You said he was going to stay, Joe.
Oh, well.
Show me the money.
He was only going to get $6 million next year.
Yeah, we don't need more.
Some people want to be on a winner.
He won the world championship. He's got his ring. He's got his ring. I mean, he's feeling pretty.
I think it was just hurt because I think Jokic made him carry this MVP trophy around. I mean, you see him during the pictures. He's like, I don't think I should be holding this MVP trophy. It was great, but he was great off the bench for the Nuggets. And the Nuggets traded for the 29th pick. They took the 29th pick from Indiana. To get 2 picks in the first round. This is for their first round pick next year. But they said, we're going to be 30th anyway because we're going to win it again because we got the dynasty going out there in Denver. So, I mean, if you give your first round pick, it's basically a second round pick if you're drafting 30th.
There'll be plenty more trades for sure.
So where does Brown go then?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, obviously he wants to be a starter, right? Because he doesn't want to come off the bench. He wants to be a starter. Oh, no. Brooklyn's where you go to have your career ending.
Yeah. Maybe New York Knicks.
That's a good one. I like that one. That's a good one. Miami?
You got me there.
Another player,
a lot of options.
Mm-hmm. But I think he wants the money, so he'll go whoever wants to pay him.
Right. He's already got his ring. He's happy.
Yeah. I think the Knicks probably would be a good fit. Seriously, they have the money for sure.
I agree. Knicks is a good one. And they're only a couple players away from actually doing better.
We talked about that last week.
Yep.
So you did mention Jokic. I didn't happen to see Jokic at the parade in Denver, was he?
Yeah, he was there.
Oh, he was there?
Yeah.
Oh.
But,
I missed that part.
Right, but Big Richard.
Yet?
No, Big Richard was wondering why he wanted to go there.
Why do you want to go to Serbia so bad?
Deep research here.
Well, he was concerned about getting home in time for harness racing on Sunday. He wanted to watch his family-owned horse running. There was a bunch of horses that they own, I guess. And Joker did arrive late to the track, but when he got there, he was greeted by 47,000 fans and a billboard which showed him wearing his number 15 jersey depicting galloping horses, and it also said "Welcome Home, MVP." Now, he was wearing a T-shirt which said Dreamcatcher on it, which was the name of his very first horse that he ever purchased a long time ago. And when the crowd saw him, they erupted with applause and joy. But he didn't talk to any of the reporters. But his dad did say that Jokic has a deep passion for horses and horse racing.
Sure.
And he nearly took him away from playing mini basketball.
Oh,
because he had to clean up the horse shit.
So that's what he did. You wanted to be there
that's
for
why he's so good on the inside. I mean, he's a pretty big guy. Oh boy, yeah, it started off in the stable. It's like Jesus.
Good stuff, Gator. Way to go.
Really, only on covering the field you get this in depth.
Hey, you get some good stuff here.
We got a gambler there in Jokic.
Yeah,
a horse player.
He's a horse man.
Nothing wrong with that.
No,
it's like he got the docs breaking somebody's fingers when they don't pay their bills.
Lady Gator,
that's his brothers.
That's his brothers. Yeah, exactly.
Lady Gator had a huge smile when I told her this story.
Right
she said, "Really?"
Yeah. The Gator. Little recap. Last weekend was golf's 123rd U.S. Open at Los Angeles Country Club.
Well, if you guys thought
there,
if you guys thought that Martin Truex's 40-1 was great, well, what about Wyndham Clark at 80-1?
Yeah, who would have picked Wyndham Clark?
I don't think anybody did.
I think two people did. Maybe one and one
his mom and dad
establishment, and maybe one in a different establishment here in our wonderful town. So I've heard about two.
Now, Ricky Fowler looked like he was going to win the whole thing. Joey looked like he was Ricky Fowler from 2014.
He had a tough Sunday.
I never believed that.
Yeah, that's what you were saying, Joe.
Yeah. When I looked at that leaderboard, well, after the second round, I was pretty sure McIlroy was going to win, Rory McIlroy, because
he was on fire.
Because Wyndham Clark and Ricky Fowler that was the top three with McIlroy. Easily, McIlroy is the best out of those three guys. So,
no, it was pretty amazing. No, I understand, Joe. That makes total sense.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing that first round, though. Fowler and Schauffele, Xander Schauffele, record 62s in the opening round of the U.S. Open. That was pretty amazing.
In L.A.
Yeah, in L.A., that's right.
I'm surprised you could even see the golf happening with all the fog and smog and everything in the air.
Yeah, unfortunately, McIlroy, I ended up betting him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, after the second round. After the second round, because I thought he was going to win it. But that last round, he only shot a 70, but Clark also shot a 70. He started one shot back. Unfortunately, lost by one stroke.
Yeah, that first round, like you said, they had some history making, but they did get harder.
Yeah, I think the pins were set up pretty easy that first round.
Sure was, or looked like it.
Well, Ricky and Clark, they had a nice little thing at the end of it. Sportsmanship right there. Okay. Congratulations and
sure.
But Ricky Fowler, he let him do his win it and everything. Then he went up to him, congratulated him. Like, that was cool.
Let the security guard clear out anybody in this one. In this victory celebration, no one was tackled.
No one's
handcuffed and brought to the local county jail.
Had McIlroy been playing with Clark, I think he might have been a little more intimidated. But the fact that they weren't in the same pairing, I think that helped Clark.
That's a great point. Great point.
Yeah. Anyway, so Clark, $3.6 million out of the $20 million purse. Not a bad.
Yeah, we'll take that
payday. Yeah. So my guys, Justin Spieth, I told you he was hurt. Don't bet him. But what did I pick? I picked Koepka and Rahm. Neither one of them contended.
Yeah, my guys didn't do very well either.
Golf is tough, man.
Yeah. Because you get an 80-1, but that's what I'm saying. In these U.S. Opens, you want to look at those, like I said, 20-1. Didn't think about 80-1.
It's a super interesting course. There were 5 par threes for the first time since 1947. Those par threes range from 81 yards to 290.
Yeah, so par 6 or 7.
2 holes in one.
That was the most
2 hole ones and the 15th?
That's right. That's true.
2 hole ones in the 15th.
Yeah. That's a great tournament, U.S. Open. I mean, we can actually play $200 a piece, and we can enter. And if we qualify, we can get in too.
Yeah,
10,000 entries.
And it's one of the hardest. It's one of the hardest. They say to win. One of the hardest courses. Usually,
U.S. Open is always hard.
Yep.
And finally, we might say United States Football League playoffs are this weekend. It's a shame hardly anyone cares.
That's sad.
It is sad.
It's hard to watch when there's no one in the stands. I mean,
yeah, there's no energy. I feel like
it's still playoffs.
Well,
Canadian Football League. I mean,
that's just started. They're on week 3.
At least someone's there besides the drones.
No, they got really great fans in Canada.
Well, we're on week 3 in
it's
Canada.
tough though. I mean, tickets are cheap for USFL. No one's going, and there's no crowd. There's no energy. It's just tough. And the players do work hard. They play hard. They're trying.
It is good, and it seems like they're putting. It's not lousy football.
No, by no means. No, it's great. It's good outside. It's good action.
Well, now it's time for those stories where something ended up going totally wrong. It's that segment we call "You Got Hosed."
Yeah, you effed up.
Yes.
You got hosed.
Okay, Joe. Well, with the Tour of France in a few weeks, I was going to use this story, share this one. Last Wednesday, 31 cyclists were disqualified for holding onto a vehicle during a climb in the under-23 Italian bike race. Now, fans lined up the sides of the climb, like they always do, and the riders appeared not to notice that they were being filmed, as they were flagrantly breaking the rules, and some were even chatting and laughing among themselves. Now, 15 teams in all were affected, with 24 of the cyclists being Italian. Now, I haven't heard of any punishments being handed out yet, but I think everybody involved in this story, in one way, shape, or form, you got hosed.
You always have the most strangest. I don't know where you find these.
Where do you get these hoses stories?
But they, cheating in a bike race.
Hey, I think you would have been better off with the Jokic. We didn't get a game 6 because he wanted to bet his horse. I mean, that was really we didn't get another game. You want to close him out in 5, and so we could go watch his horse race.
My other host story would have been the Mexican coach getting fired because they couldn't beat the United States.
Well, that's tough to beat the U.S., but. They used to beat us quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to get back to
adios, Coca.
Adios, buddy. All right, we're talking about adios. Who should be adios is Bob Melvin, the manager for the San Diego Padres. First of all, why would you hire somebody that used to coach the A's?
Yeah. Oh my God, that's terrible to say.
That's terrible to say, but it's true. I know it's that, but anyway, he used to coach the A's. If you look him up, as I did, he still has his A's. He doesn't even have a San Diego hat on. He's got his A's hat on. I don't even know why I wouldn't even wear that hat. Anyway, I'm sorry, Joe. All right, so anyway, go back. I had 8. It was 8 under. It was under over 8. San Diego had Waka pitching, and your San Francisco Giants had Keaton pitching. He had a 1.9 ERA. Looks like an under bet, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, it's 4-2 in the 9th inning, and all we have to do is not tie, right? Because that's it. So they had Tim Hill, who was cruising for 2 innings, was pitching for San Diego. I don't even think he gave anybody, might have one runner on, pitching great. Sidearm lefty. And what does Bob Melvin do? He pulls another A's tactic. Let's put in Luis Garcia.
Oh, this is going to be a good move.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be great, yeah. Luis Garcia. I mean, first of all, I want to know if there's anybody with Luis Garcia warming up. Because why would you pull this guy out? He must be pitching pretty good in the bullpen, you would think. Goes in there, not even close to the strike zone, walks the first batter. Okay, now the tying runs at the plate. Gives 2 balls to Yastrzemski. And what does he do? I'm going to give you a nice cookie right down the middle. Boom, that's a base hit. 1st and 3rd. Now no outs, runner on 3rd. I still got a chance. I only have to give up 1 run, right? Still got a chance. It was 4-2. And what does he do the next pitch? He bounces it 3 feet in front of the plate, goes to the backstop. Now it's 4-3. Okay, so I got no outs. I got Yastrzemski on second base. Melvin says, hey, maybe this guy doesn't pitch very well. I mean, hey, I don't know. I mean, obviously the guy can't find the strike zone. And so they bring in a reliever, 2 fly balls to the outfield. That brings in the tying run, 4-4, and the Giants' winning streak continues. And I got hosed.
You got hosed.
You sure did.
Well, Bob Melvin posed you.
Yeah.
So you should send him a gift.
I'm just like, what are they? Yeah, I think you should just be like him. I'm Luis Garcia. You're not a pitcher. Go back to cleaning carpets, whatever you're doing. But this job is not for you, buddy. Because if you can't come in and throw strikes, you shouldn't be in the bullpen.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Throw strikes. Pitchers throw strikes.
If you get beat by hit, if you get hit, that's fine. But I mean, just coming in there, bounce the ball.
Throw strikes to all you pitchers out there. Throw strikes.
Well, my You Got Hosed story goes out to the sports fans in Oakland, California.
Oh, again?
Oh, yes, you brought it up. Yes, the Nevada legislature, Governor Joe Lombardo, just approved that $1.5 billion stadium last week. $385 million in taxpayer money.
Our money.
Yep. That but ensures the A's are moving to Las Vegas.
There was never any doubt.
No.
Are they going to be able to keep? I think the A's should be able to keep their name, and they should be able to keep their colors. Because I think that
I would hate it if they changed their name.
They should not.
That goes back to 1901.
Okay.
Yeah, Philadelphia A's 1901, right? So why change that now?
But, because just like like the Browns wanted to keep their name, they got when they came to the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, that was a little different, I guess. Edgar Allan Poe and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I think it was more the Cleveland cared about their team. Oakland really does.
Anyway, so the Raiders are already in Vegas. The Warriors, they moved from Oakland to San Francisco. The National Hockey League, you remember the Seals? They left in 1976. All the fans had left was the A's.
And the Raiders had them a couple times and then lost them.
So what's left in Oakland?
Sad fans.
Crime.
Well, their fans were promised a stadium in Fremont and then in 06 and San Jose 12. Then they were promised that waterfront stadium in 2018. Those didn't happen. And to boot, owner John Fisher cut player salaries and raised ticket prices, leading to
it's hard to feel sorry for him, dude.
This team is going to be one of the worst ever. And if Fisher wasn't such an Oakland a-hole, the team might have stuck around. Oakland fans are completely hosed.
In other words, they get stuck in an a-hole.
That was great, Joe.
You got hosed.
That was a good show, guys. Good show. Good stuff today. I mean, I know we're kind of dead these next couple months waiting for football.
There's always stuff.
Baseball is kicking butt right now. It's fun. College World Series. Looking forward to those games coming up.
We'll handicap the USFL. If you have to bet on something, I think it's either going to be baseball or USFL. Maybe a little racing.
All right.
Well, I want to thank our studio audience, our contributors, Rockin, Ronnie, McKinnon, and Butch, the Butcher Roberts, and all our listeners out there.
Oh, especially the listeners.
Yes, especially our listeners. We look forward to bringing you another episode of Covering the Field.
You've been listening to Covering the Field. Email us at coveringthefield@gmail.com for all your comments or questions. Find us on Twitter @CoveringField. And of course, always check out the website for our picks of the week and updated articles. coveringthefield.com.